Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is HD StarCraft and I'm here for actually the final game of this set. There was a bit of a problem. I'm sorry guys, there was a problem with game number 8, which was the last game, which was the game I'm supposed to be casting right now. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the replay open for whatever reason. I have no idea why. But because there is a Game 9, which is evidence right here, this was titled Game 9, the final game, obviously that means that Hyun won Game 8, and so the series is tied up at 4 apiece right now. I really do apologize, guys. I tried everything within my known methods of fixing that replay, but I couldn't get it to work. I even, tried to get a new version of it. It simply is corrupted, so sometimes that does happen. Unfortunately, Game 8 is not available, but Hyun did win that game, and so the series is now tied up at 4 apiece. This is going to be the final game of the set, Game 9. And once again, I apologize for the inconvenience. There's nothing I can really do, but I am still going to cast this game, obviously. The map is actually a very interesting map. With all that said and done, let's go ahead and talk about this. This is called Kespa Neo Biofrost. And really interesting design here. We actually have 2 different layouts. Let's just go ahead and walk through the map real quick. So this is the main base, and then you do have a back base back here, but it's an island. It's almost like hunters, big game hunters, but no, it's not an island. I'm sorry, I didn't even see the ramp. So there is basically a natural behind your base that you should be able to expand to right away. Both players have that option available to them, and then you've got this kind of narrow opening leading out to the rest of the map. The rest of the map has a couple of expansions scattered all throughout, and one of the interesting features here is there's this double or triple bridge, I should say, which kind of reminds me of the map. I forgot the map of the name already, but what was it called? I forgot. It was one of the popular maps back in Brood War that was played at a high level. And actually, Scrap Station kind of looked like this too, where there was this one narrow bridge at the bottom left-hand corner of the map. Regardless, yeah, there's this triple bridge, and then the terrain changes from grass into this kind of icy Zelnaga Tower type of style. And then, of course, the map is symmetric across that section. Now look at this, WhiteRa has blocked off Hyun's potential expansion with the pylon very quickly with that probe, so very intelligent play right there by WhiteRa to go ahead and do that. And I wonder if, no, you cannot. I was gonna say, I wonder if you can build a pylon here just to block the enemy player in his own base, but you cannot because there is these rocks here, which of course form that rocky foundation. You can't build anything there. But then again, you could just build something right here if you wanted to be really crafty and seal off the enemy Zerg player. But it looks like Hyun has already expanded out to the bottom right hand side, so that is not going to be the case here. And meanwhile, on the other side of the map, I really like the design of this map, by the way, guys. Lots of places where you can park your Overlord with all these little mini ledges and cliffs and whatnot. And so actually Hyun's already on top of that. He's bringing his Overlords in. He's got to be careful though, got to get that Overlord to the high ground, and he is going to be able to get that into a safe spot. Meanwhile, Zergling walking around this weird catwalk formation around the back. What is this thing? Whoa, this catwalk goes around the entire... No way, you can't walk. Can you? So this Zergling is actually on a mission right now. Can it actually go around the entire base? Does this catwalk exist all the way to the back of the expansion? It seems like it indeed does, but I'm not... Can you actually walk here? I think you can. And so it actually leads all the way around the entire extreme of the map until it gets to this little back end corner. Meanwhile, yeah, there we go. A couple of Zerglings coming around the backside of WhiteRa's catwalk, if you will, and they're gonna get into the back of WhiteRa's expansion. I love this map design. This is very creative and innovative. This is what you'd expect, I guess, from Korea. Yeah, Hyun now inside WhiteRa's main base with a couple of Zerglings. So I actually think the best way to defend against this is just to make a few pylons here and seal it off so that those units cannot be aggressive, so that there is no backdoor entrance to your base. But for now, Hyun is inside the main base with a couple of pesky Zerglings and is obviously going to try to be as annoying as possible. Now WhiteRa realizes, what the hey, there is an opening back here, and of course he's got to try to seal this off with a pylon or a gateway wall of some sorts, as it looks like these LOL, says WhiteRa. Didn't know map. Yeah, I didn't know map either. It's very interesting. But yeah, there's this long extended catwalk that goes all the way to the back, and apparently it is a Brood War map, so I did not know that. but certainly has a lot of similarities to what made Brood War maps so interesting and creative, because Brood War maps had all these little finicky things that you could toy around with. Some of the maps are even interactive, and I'm hoping to see that a little bit more in Heart of the Swarm. Anyways, we do have a double Stargate opening from WhiteRa. Meanwhile, these Zerglings have killed off 2 probes already, and the double Stargate is indeed going to be scouted by the Zerglings as well. Not a good start for WhiteRa, who's at 40 supply right now. He does seal this off with a gateway and a pylon, so won't have to worry about any backside attacks anymore unless they come in the form of roaches or hydras. But for now, that is going to be safely protected. I guess one of the drawbacks to having an in-base expansion is you're going to have a little bit of a back avenue that you have to deal with, and the other benefit you get is, of course, this is very narrow, so you can easily wall that off. But yes, there is a little back avenue that you have to be concerned about. Meanwhile, actually, something that just comes to mind is you could probably put a couple of stalkers or something here, and they could just completely wipe out the drone line. We'll see if WhiteRa decides to do that or not. But anyways, Hyun now flying in with an Overlord is going to get picked off by that stalker. Nothing he can really do about that. But he does actually confirm that the double Stargate was canceled. And now we have a Robo and a Gateway. WhiteRa trying to be tricky, but it ends up getting scouted. And so WhiteRa was initially planning to not go for double Stargate. Obviously, he was trying to trick Hyun into thinking he was and switching up his tech. But it does get scouted by Hyun, and now Hyun knows what is coming. And of course, he can now switch up his tech accordingly. And no, we don't actually have any Spore Crawlers at all from Hyun. He was not even concerned about the remote possibility of air. In fact, right now, Hyun is on 1, 2, 3, 4 bases with a total of 5 potential hatcheries here. Hyun is going to be booming into super macro mode momentarily. WhiteRa needs to think about getting a 3rd base pretty soon here in order to keep up. Good thing he's picked off all these Overlords. Now he doesn't have to worry about that pesky vision provided by Overlords. There is still one in the back right-hand corner, but not much you can do about that right now. Meanwhile, a couple of Zerglings able to leak in. One Zergling makes its way inside. I think its carcass, as it was flying across the ground, was able to see the support bay. If Hyun didn't know about it before, he now knows that he's going to be facing up against Colossus. And actually, Hyun says, well, it worked last game, why not try it again? He's going for vengeful sacks. It looks like we are going to have another Overlord bomb strategy. And yeah, why not? It worked really well last game. And on a map like this, where, you know, there's a lot of impassable terrain, ground is highly limited, I think bombing with air units could be very, very good. We'll just have to see how this plays out. Now, there is this triple bridge formation here where you would expect to see a lot of conflict. WhiteRa trying to take control of the middle of the map right now, using his aerial advantage with the Mothership Core. The Roaches cannot fight back, so they are forced to pull away. But there are the Overlords. Now, the Overlords have speed, which might be a little bit revealing to WhiteRa. Why are there so many Overlords? Why were there so many Overlords moving together like that? And why do they all have speed? And you can see that Hyun pulled the rest of them back because he didn't want to reveal his hand there. But it might have been too late. I think WhiteRa might be up to... He might get that kind of fishy feeling right now and realize that, hey, something weird is happening here. And it looks like a lot of Roaches and Zerglings here moving to the edge. They might think about going to the bottom corner here where they can be picked up by the Overlords. Let's check the upgrades right now. It is 1-1 for both sides. And it looks like Hyun is going to load up pretty soon here. Well, the problem is WhiteRa is very far out of position in the middle of the map. I don't know how he's going to be able to get back home to defend against the Overlords. And yeah, the Overlords are going to load up now. This is very bad news for WhiteRa, but it looks like the Overlords are going to go straight for the main Protoss army. Oh my goodness, WhiteRa's got to be careful here, but I think he might have enough units on the ground to deflect the Overlords, and now the Overlords are going to go to the main base. Oh no, WhiteRa is completely out of position. His main base is about to get completely screwed over, and here we go. D-Day drops galore. WhiteRa can do nothing about it. No, he recalls his army back home in time. WhiteRa with the recall of the century, and as the Overlords were about to poop creep to clear the LZ, it looks like the LZ is no longer safe, and WhiteRa deflects it with a well-timed Mothership recall. That is what you call clutch, baby. That is clutch Whiterun right there. And now will Whiterun be able to get a third expansion? He needs to expo right now. I actually think, why not expand right here? This seems like a conveniently safe location. Not sure why he isn't, but oh no. Hyun gonna use this opportunity to go in for another drop. Whiterun not prepared for this time. I don't think he has a mothership core nearby. He cannot recall, and the Zerg army has made its way through. There is the mothership core. It recalls back home, but it doesn't bring home any troops. And now HDreplays, I think he's forced into a base race. I don't think he can do anything about this. The main base is now under attack. HDreplays is just going to go for the all-in. I don't know about this. HDreplays is going to try to make this happen, but there are so many Zerg units all among the Protoss structures. And of course, what does Hyun do when he sees an impending base race? Of course he builds a bunch of spine crawlers in order to buy time, because he knows right now if he can hold off this Protoss counterattack, then he should be able to win this game. Very smart play by Quantic.Hyun. And I don't know what HDreplays can do. He cannot save his base. Everything is going down right now. Hopefully he's bringing a couple of probes to build pylons in order to prolong his lifespan. But that's about it. A couple of Zerg units actually able to leak out on the left-hand side. And it looks like now HDreplays, he is able to take out the third expo. But as he makes his way over to the natural, he's going to be fighting through a grid of spines and spores. And most likely a counterattack of units from behind him. Meanwhile, his main structures have all been eradicated. And HDreplays at this point doesn't have much to fall back on. He is going to send his units through the choke point, and this is where the problem arises. All these spine crawlers, and yeah, HDreplays calls well played. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Quantic Gaming Hyun able to take it down in this best of 9 all the way down to the end of the game to game 9. And once again, I do apologize. Game 8, which was on Daybreak, unfortunately the replay was corrupted, but Hyun did win that game. The series was tied 4-4, and Hyun now takes the victory at the end. What an incredible comeback by Hyun. At one point he was down, I think he was down 3-0. So for him to come back like that, what a comeback. Incredible. I think a little bit having to do with HDreplays not being familiar with the maps. Obviously the start of this game was not good for him, what with the little catwalk back attack and whatnot, but nevertheless, Hyun gotta give credit where it's due, man. He played an incredible series. I hope you guys enjoyed this cast. Heart of the Swarm is going to be coming in just a few days. I cannot wait. I hope you guys all have the game pre-ordered. Can't wait for the launch, March 12th. This will probably be my last Heart of the Swarm cast, and I'll be, of course, casting, well, this will be my last Heart of the Swarm beta cast. I'll still be casting games, obviously, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, check me out on my YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter at HDStarcraft. I'll see you guys later. This is HD, signing out.